Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to get moving and shape up. My name is Brock Armstrong, and I'm the Get Fit Guy. Finding the motivation to exercise can seem like one of the most elusive things in the world sometimes. The amount of time and effort put into trying to create, find, and sustain motivation often outweighs the effort put into the exercise itself tenfold. But what if someone was to tell you that you're going about it all wrong? What if motivation wasn't necessary? What if you could create a desire much stronger and more stable to keep you going back for more? Well, that is the essence of what my guest on this episode, supermodel, coach, trainer, and chef Jill de Jong, will tell you if you were to come to her and say something like, "Oh, I just hate working out," or "I just can't exercise because I find it boring."
Well, I say to them, you don't need to like working out to enjoy the benefits. Do I like brushing my teeth? Not really, but I do enjoy clean teeth and fresh breath. So I brush my teeth twice a day. Same counts for working out. Just show up, do the exercises, and it's very likely you'll feel better after your workout than when you started. So when you're more connected to your body, you also show up differently. You walk more confidently, you speak more confidently, you may have increased energy, your stress levels may be decreased, and you may just feel happier. So when you connect to feeling good with working out, you'll keep coming back for more.
You may have seen Jill de Jong gracing the cover of magazines like Women's Health or Fitness Magazine, or perhaps you know her from her book called Models Do Eat, or perhaps you use one of her yoga block socks. Or maybe you listen to her podcast, Life Done Better. But wherever you know Jill from, and if you don't know her, you can take my word for it, this Dutch model turned podcaster knows a thing or two about fitness. And Jill joined me on a call to discuss her take on some of my favorite topics, including what Jill says to her clients who say they don't like working out, what role motivation plays in her fitness life, and how she creates motivation. Or does she? All right, let's jump into my interview with Jill de Jong. I like that you look beyond the usual message of, come on, just be an adult and get your workout done, to looking at the actual benefits or how you feel after the workout. I think that's a really important little piece, that even brushing your teeth makes you feel more confident, fresh, and happy.
Absolutely. My day only starts after I brush my teeth. I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm ready to start my day and work out and see my clients. And if I forget brushing my teeth, I'm just like, there's something wrong. And it's the same thing with working out. The more you work out, the more you want to do it. And then if you would say skip a whole week, you're like, something is wrong. I'm just not feeling the same. And so going back to the feeling is super important. Motivation is not necessary. If we had to wait for motivation, 9 out of 10 workouts wouldn't happen.
Yeah, and that goes for professional athletes too. I've worked with a lot of professional triathletes and marathoners and stuff. And if they waited for motivation to get them every single day, they would never qualify for the Boston Marathon or for Kona or anything. They'd just be sitting at home going, why am I not motivated?
Exactly.
They just get up and do it.
Exactly. So instead of motivation, we need habits. We need to schedule it. We need to stick to it. And, for people that are listening, they're obviously may not have these big goals like ever completing a triathlon, but you may have other goals, like you want to keep up and play with your kids. You may want to go on a fun adventure and you want to feel strong and capable. Also, you may have anxiety that you want to get rid of. Well, exercise helps. And so when you schedule your exercise and stick to it, the only reason why you should not show up is when you are sick in bed. All the other reasons are if you even have a slight headache, or if you are tired, if you are, too busy. Stop with what you're doing because you scheduled it in, you made time for it. Because if you don't make time for it, it will be gone. That time will be gone. There was always someone that needs you, laundry that needs to be done, someone needs your help. I mean, you have to make yourself a priority. And even though you may not enjoy the exercising itself, like the act of it, you're going to feel so much better when you're done. No one ever says, oh, I worked out and I wish I hadn't done that. right?
Right.
And I was like, man, I'm so glad I did that.
Yes.
I'm so glad.
I live and die by my calendar and my to-do list. If it's on my to-do list, it gets done. And that's where my workouts are. That's where my leisure time goes. That's where everything goes. But do you also think there's a role for motivation to play somewhere in this realm or in your life?
Yeah, I think so personally, I am more of a functional, like I have, my motivation is like an event that I sign up for. If it's a triathlon, I've done a half an Ironman, I've done a marathon. You cannot show up unprepared. So that's my motivation. Like I cannot skip going, running all week if I have a marathon in so many months from now. So that's a huge motivation, right, for that. But people that have smaller goals, motivation should not be your looks, because especially now it's winter and you're covering up your body does not need to be beach ready. Don't focus on the looks. Focus on how you feel. Focus on something that you want to accomplish, have the strength for. And like I said, I personally love adventures. So I'm going on a big hike on Friday. It's probably a 5-hour hike. It's rocky. It's not, a paved path. I have to be very focused, and I have to make sure that I don't get injured in those 5 hours. Now, I've built up for this hike for many months. I've gone on hikes every week. I've gone on difficult, easy, and fun ones and not so fun ones, but I kept going hiking. And it's not my favorite thing to do, but adventure. The feeling of adventure is my favorite feeling. So again, motivation should be in a bigger, juicy goal. It shouldn't be about your looks, because it's just not sustainable. Because honestly, when I think about, oh yeah, I would like to have, a 6-pack, I'm like, well, my bread and butter and cheese really do taste much better than that 6-pack looks right now. It's just not motivating enough. So you want to have a bigger, juicy goal that you really can stick to, that really makes you feel excited. And maybe even a little scared, because you may dream of something that you've been wanting to do, but not feel ready, not capable right now, but you can be. So I think it's really good to think and connect with that heart desire of what do you want to experience in life? Because you're going to miss out on experiences if you are weak and not energized or even sick. So take care of your body and move it any way you can.
It really sounds like you're saying that motivation isn't the thing that you should be going after. The goal, your bigger goal, your desire, that's where you're placing your focus. And then the motivation is almost sort of secondary or comes out of that desire to achieve that goal.
Exactly.
So we've almost got it backwards, I think, in some ways. A lot of people are like, oh, I just don't feel motivated. It's like, well, no, the motivation doesn't come first. The goal comes first.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, you got that right. The goal, the juicy goal. Why do you want to do this? I mean, like when I look at most advertisements, I see, all these at-home workouts. I see, more equipment, more things that we should buy and do. And a lot of people buy into it. A lot of people have equipment laying around in their house and do not use it. Why? Because, again, they don't feel motivated. But if I know that, like if I were to say use a TRX suspension strap, or if I use a Peloton bike, if I use these things that I have really spent a lot of money on, and I now start using it for an experience in the future, something that I truly love and excites me, to go do. And it can be as small as, a vacation with your children, grandchildren, that you right now do not even feel like doing because you don't have the energy to go swim and bike and hike and do all these things for. It can be something in the near future that you're working towards. Now it starts to be worth it, because the lunges and the squats and the push-ups and whatever you're doing, or, like the cardio, if you're on a Peloton bike, this is now contributing to your bigger goal, this juicy goal. Now it becomes about functionality. You can stand up better from your chair or the couch. Like you feel instantly when your quads are working. You feel like, oh, when I get out of bed at night, when I go pee, I use my core. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like my abs are engaged when I do that. When I go, to the store and I pick up something heavy, my grocery bag, I have better posture. I pick up my groceries differently. I lift from my legs. I don't hurt my back. So I'm excited about the functionality of those movements. And again, it's not about, oh, well, I don't see any results. I haven't lost the weight I wanted to lose. I haven't seen much of a difference. And how long has it been that you've been working out? Well, maybe 3 weeks. Okay, keep going. But how do you feel? Well, I do feel stronger, and I do feel, maybe a little happier. So think about the feelings instead of the number on the scale, about the way you look, how your clothes fit, because the side effect will be all these wonderful things that you want to happen anyway.
You are speaking my language. This podcast is called The Get Fit Guy for a reason, not The Get Skinny Guy or The Get Jacked Guy or something. It's because I totally agree with you. Like, fitness is so much more and so much more important in our lives to be striving for. So before we wrap up, I always like to leave the listeners with sort of some homework or some things that they can start doing right away. So what are 3 things that you think people can do right away to get moving, even if they don't feel motivated?
Right now, if you're sitting, obviously not in a car, but if you are sitting at home, then get up and start walking. Get out of the house. You're already listening to a podcast, so why not move while you're listening to something interesting? It actually lands better. It makes you focus more. It makes you integrate what you hear better. And if you can go outside, then you may have a staircase. Go walk up and down the stairs and crank up some of your favorite tunes. Get excited about the tunes and don't worry about how long it is. Just get moving, and you may actually end up doing something else and something else. And that's the trick of kind of fooling yourself in doing a 10-minute workout. So the third thing I would say, go do a 10-minute workout. It can be as simple as doing a plank, some lunges, some squats, some ab exercises. It's very likely that you're doing it for 10 minutes and you'll add on another 5 or maybe another 10 minutes because you already started. Time went by pretty quickly. So just getting started, showing up is 50% of the work. The other 50% is the actual workout.
Oh, at least, yeah. I love it. And I know you've got your own podcast. I've been on it. And you have a great Instagram feed and stuff like that. And we'll put links to all of that in the show notes at getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com. But is there one place that you'd like people to go to find you? Let's say they're in their car or something right now and they can't write it down.
Find me on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Life Done Better. That's my podcast. And Models Do Eat is my Instagram account. It's actually _Models Do Eat.
All right. I want to thank Jill one more time for coming on the Get Fit Guy podcast. That was a great conversation, and I think it was a little unexpected it was for me anyway. Hopefully it was for you as well. And don't forget to tune in next week. Even though we're in the holidays, there will still be an episode, so don't forget about that. And also, don't forget to check out my other podcast called The Change Academy that I do with my fellow Quick and Dirty Tips podcaster, Monica Reinagel, also known as the Nutrition Diva, and you can find that at changeacademypodcast.com. All right, my name is Brock Armstrong. I'm the Get Fit Guy, asking you, what are you waiting for? Follow your goals.